YouTube in the cut. It's your favorite mega church cult survivor, Leah Lauder. And I'm live on TikTok. I'm going to go live on Insta in a little bit. Who's Pastor Bobby? We've got someone on here, a survivor speaking on TikTok. I do want to say just quickly, I'm just doing a recap on what I went through earlier. You can go and check it out on this same channel. We're looking at the dimensions, not as literal portals, but layers of meaning. So this is, we're going into metaphysics. Oh, Toby. All right, Pastor Toby. So physics recognizes multiple dimensions mathematically. Human experience recognizes dimensions symbolically and psychologically. So cults move people from the 3D reality, which is choice, correspond, consequence, and plurality. So and then they move them into a closed symbolic dimension, one truth, one authority, and one destiny. Hey, Queen Georgia. So that's where we're just following the transcendental belief system, and that will be the overarching vision of the cult leader. Where it gets sticky, within the Christian fundamental belief system, there's a vision that we need to win the lost, go out and, preach the gospel, preach salvation to the lost, Where this gets sticky is where they twist and manipulate it to get you to become slaves. And then it's like a tyrannical pyramid scheme leadership. So everything falls from this top down, top heavy, and everything spills down. So we're all become like the slaves. It's like, do you know what it's given? Pharaoh in Egypt, the Israelites, let my people go. So what happens is money is nothing. It's a piece of paper. Energy is the currency of this universe. And what you put your time and energy into, that equates or can be alchemized into cash. We need a plug in the TikTok office. For what reason? So that they can stop reporting me up. And half of these gal them, they're in these church cult settings for the D. They're not in there to actually study the word. And this is why, guys, I've put out some content. I am going to start a 10-week study. If people feel like they would benefit from it, it's a cornerstone, because I was in a sound doctrinal church cult for some months, and I did a 10-week I don't know what to call it. It's like a program thing, and it's got different topics in here. But basically, I want to have a good example of what sound doctrine is, so that people can identify false doctrine. There's a lot of false doctrine in the airwaves, and I feel like me going through this will just give people a flat line to be able to identify what sound doctrine is, because this is a good example of a healthy church. I mean, I don't identify as a Christian, and I don't see myself getting involved in organized institutional religion. But for those that still want to be involved in the church, I'm not against it. I was in a church cult for 18 years. So when it comes to mega church cult false doctrine, I am a scholar. And my cult leader, his obsession was building, so church planting, and then it was books. He thinks he's an author. So my cult leader's written probably thousands of books at this point. So I'm going to carry that same spirit, that same first love spirit where they think they know all the scriptures, and I'm going to go into that zone. So I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be leaving around watch night, kind of going into the new year. And if you are, well done, congratulations. I'm going to be holding this study once a week for 10 weeks, if I can handle it. And it's going to be just teaching you the fundamentals and who Jesus Christ is supposed to look like in a healthy church setting. Remember, guys, I don't necessarily hold these views, because remember, I am more leaning towards the Christ consciousness. But for those that still want to engage in organized religion, this will be a really, really good resource to help you to understand what safe, sound doctrine looks like when they're not trying to thief your money and they're not trying to ABUSE you in a setting, all right? Because remember, I'm not really looking at the context, I'm looking at the safety. But the doctrine they teach in there is going to be one of the indicators that we're going to be able to tell if certain ABUSE is going on in there. All right. So back to the metaphysics. So when they move you into this closed system, is sometimes called a totalistic system, transcendental belief system, and a closed meaning loop. So metaphysically, survivors experience this as veils thinning, reality narrowing, intuition overridden by imposed meaning. That's the constant indoctrination with their false ideological perspectives. And a lot of the time, if you're in a church cult like this, it's going to be like black supremacy rhetoric, allegedly. It's going to be misogynistic, patriarchal, allegedly. And there's just going to be a bunch of grabbing 304 pick-me's in their chair that are going to just be stepping on anyone's neck, sleeping with anyone's man to get to the top. Anyway, I digress. So this is not because portals are opened, but because interpretive freedom is removed. If you are on here, it is absolutely imperative on TikTok that you like up the live. Reason being, I have 8 accounts. If what I'm saying is resonating, please come into the live and help us to keep the space safe, because I am a target and they do like trying to get me. Oh my God, you lot, 1 minute. I got to do Insta share. Hey Insta, it's your favorite mega church cult survivor, Leah Lauder, and I'm live on YouTube and TikTok. I'm just going to kick off from where I was left off from. This is part 2, where I'm looking at what does quantum mechanic physics and metaphysics, what has it got to do with church cults? This is what we're getting into. So what I want to talk about here is ritual, repetition, and spell work. Let's be very clear and grounded here, because what happens when you leave a church cult is your head is just in the sky. You're believing in warlocks and dragons. You know, you are in like Game of Thrones / Harry Potter with a little bit of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So what I want to do is ground you and teach you what the real spell work was. Somebody said, oh, Leah, in the live, you've got to be careful when exposing spat because they're into witchcraft. And I started laughing hysterically. It's just the low vibrational lack of knowledge and information, and that's why the people really do perish. So cults do not use magic in a supernatural sense. They don't even use magic with a K chair, but they do use repetition, chanting, affirmations, call and response, synchronized speech, emotionally charged language. And in neuroscience, this causes neural entrapment, suppression of critical thought, and heightened suggestibility. And arguably, this is heightened, and you may get a higher level exposure to these kind of ritualistic practices if you're in like African type of BLK church cults, because they use a lot of repetition, chanting, trance-like states through drumming, and you know, because it's in our genetics. So there's a lot of like African spiritual practices that have been brought into these church cults. So they've become more cultural than even religious. They've just become like cults. Oh my God. And then depending on the cult leader, if he's Nigerian, there'll be Nigerian influences. If he's Brazilian, there'll be Brazilian influences like UCKG. That's why they speak with like a Portuguese accent. And there's a voiceover. Macedo doesn't even talk English, and then people want to be running around in these streets calling UCKG a BLK church. Macedo doesn't. Macedo speaks Portuguese, babe. I think if Macedo heard that people were calling his church a BLK church, I think he would just, I was going to say turn in his GRAVE. I remember he's still alive. Child, these EVIL men live too long, innit, in this? Ross Clark, Dappy man live long, and God take the young, unalive young. Ain't that the truth? So in neuroscience, this causes neural entertainment, suppression of critical thought, heightened suggestibility. In metaphysical language, people experience this as words becoming reality and speaking things into existence. They really do. And that's why the way that these church cults promote themselves is through turning people's lives around, transforming them like their aesthetic and their outward appearance, so cleaning them up. And there's this real thing like manifestation, like the law of attraction. And the thing is, guys, you don't need a controlling church cult with a malignant narcissistic pastor to do up law of attraction. It's actually more powerful when someone's not siphoning your energy and controlling how you manifest your destiny. Do you follow where I'm going with this? So what's really happening is language shapes perception. Perception shapes behavior, and behavior reshapes the whole life trajectory. So this feels like spell work. So guys, like, just stop being so scared. Do you know what? That's how they took over us, you know, colonized our land. So guys, as a BLK person, you know, like if you've grown up in these second gen households, your mum's just a hyper religious, like she just, yeah, just gone. Like, guys, I can't even remember what I was saying, chat. This is so traumatic. Sorry, guys, I've even lost where I was. This is just so traumatic. All right, here I am. Okay. I'm not gonna go. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this bit because the spell work is important. Because a lot of people are believing in like that they've got some little man in a hut doing judge, and that's what they want you to believe because they want you to be DUMB and naive. It's about the psychology. These men are geniuses, EVIL geniuses. They want you to have the fear. That's how they control you. All right. So please, 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 please wake up. Wake the hell up. Because the quicker the collective consciousness can get rid of this fear, the quicker these, you know, like the reality will like shift and we'll have more power. But it is shifting because even though people are attending, in their hearts and in their psyche, they don't really believe it. They're there for community or whatever. And that's what's shifting the collective consciousness because the people inside, they're also weak in their psyche. All right. So it feels like spell work because language is one of the most powerful forces in human cognition. So it's the language, the repetition, the oaths. We do a lot of oaths, a lot of covenants. Oh my God. You lot, do you remember Covenant Sunday? When's that? When's Covenant Sunday? Is that after watch night? Come on, yeah. Thanksgiving service. Oh my God, this is so triggering. Guys, there's some parts in here my head's already hurting because I know where it's going. I might not do this live for very long because I'm deconstructing myself live. All right, guys, just quickly, my step granddad was a man called Professor Russell Stannard, and he was a physicist. And he often emphasized that science explains mechanisms without erasing meaning. And this is a perfect example to embody what I'm talking about. So what I was looking at before was the destiny, timeline disruption, and identity theft. So survivors often say, I wasn't living my life, I was living someone else's vision. And I want to let you know that it's not destiny swapping, it's identity foreclosure. Psychologically, personal agency is surrendered. Future planning is outsourced. So Stephen Hassan's coined something like this called life mapping. They map out your life. So everybody in there is just a clone and it becomes an echo chamber. So everybody's like doing the same thing. If you're in on the FYP and you're a survivor, can you come in and like the live? Because my energy is so low. And I've come on here like with the little energy I have. My kids have gone to their auntie's birthday and I could have used these couple of hours to just rest. And I've come on, guys, you know, like I haven't been doing lives because I've not been well. So if you could on TikTok just help to protect the space for me, that would be amazing, guys. Please. All right. So metaphysically, people experience this as a stolen timeline or like a timeline shift. Oh, hi, Els. How are you, my love? Or being trapped in a matrix, a religious matrix. That language does make sense because the self was paused, time was frozen, not destroyed. So the good news is paused timelines can be resumed. I think with destiny swapping it gets a bit intricate. Also, I feel like we've given them too much power. That's why people are coming on here with their fair and low vibrational lack of faith and lack of knowledge in their perishing lives and energetic magnetic field, coming in to try and infect their fear about watch spat because they do witchcraft. My live ended on Instagram. Someone was on there reporting it. They're so sad. It's like, get a life, babe. And it's so inconvenient for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't even have a proper setup. Hey, Instagram, it's the Lords, your favorite mega church cult survivor. They just got it luck off. You know, all of this takes energy, but it's all right. I know you're just threatened by me because I'm so educated. And it's not only educated, it's like revelations. Queen Haynes. All right, so let's look at astrology, significant dates, and meaning amplification. Cults often anchor control around major holidays. That's why they're so big on Christmas. So that's why you get so triggered around Christmas, want to top yourself, just can't do it. Fasts, anniversaries, emotionally charged dates. You could argue that in this 3D matrix that we're in, you could argue that the government have done up that it's like a glitch in the system. I was watching someone's content today and she was saying Christmas is a glitch in the system, and that's why they play like all of the songs like to remind you of like childhood, like nostalgia. And then you can see why other people just feel like topping themselves, because that is most likely when trauma is exasperated, and it becomes quite a harrowing traumatic experience to relive. And then also it's like the capitalism, do you know what I mean, and the consumerism, because it doesn't become about what it's originally set out to do. It becomes about materialism and people unaliving themselves and getting sick to provide what they don't have for one bloody day. All right, this isn't because stars control people. It's because humans assign meaning to cycles. So when meaning plus emotion and authority converge, impact is amplified. It's when the veil is thinnest. Yeah, most definitely. hmm Thanks for the follow, Louise. They do the sacrificial work, but it's not in the way that people think. That's why people need to stop thinking about animals and a man with like eggs and stuff and hay. The egg and the hay, that's just what they're using. It's the intention. Those things are to give you like a physical image, it's all psychological, it's like fear based. More hospital and government failure during that time. You're going deep, boy. You know, just put it in the comments, chair, because you know me, I'm new to this, babe. I don't come on here trying to know it all. Minano, do you get me, babe? I've just been out a couple of years. I don't really know much. I've just been deconstructing, and I come on here and share my reflections. So I know there's like people who have been woke for longer than me, and they've dived in. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Oh, thanks, Louise. Oh, you're so sweet, man. Oh, babe, I've just survived a lot of things that should have unalived people. So it's like I've lived to tell the tale. Even the last relationship I had after my ex-husband, that guy nearly turned my head mad. Nige guy. But not all of them. Some of them are just so nice guys. But nah, hon, you're good. It's just all connected. Oh, thanks, babe. So scientifically, these are liminal psychological states, moments of increased openness and suggestibility. Hey, Dennis. In my old cult, leader climate made everything under the sun goes on. Oh, everything. Okay, he's saying in his old cult, everything under the sun goes on in there. Oh, thanks, Dennis. Dennis is so sweet. So again, the experience is real, even if the mechanism is human. Okay, so they are still very real experiences. We just need to be able to ground ourselves and look at it from a psychological point of view, because that's where the power is, in the knowledge. All right, babe. The exit. So when you exit, time restarts, identity returns. So when survivors leave, they often feel grief for lost years, at how much time passed, disorientation, anger, rebirth. This is time re-entry. Your internal clock restarts, your observer frame widens, and your future becomes plural again. I want you to know that this is not spiritual failure. This is consciousness recovery, and it takes time for the neurosystem to recalibrate and to heal. And healing is not linear. And then I'm going to give you this grounded truth until I go back onto the next bit. Cults do not control the universe. They do not open cosmic portals. They don't have that power. They collapse human possibility. Like these people who have studied portals and guys, they're like geniuses, like Einstein. Like if you go down that rabbit hole, they are not pastors from a village that are claiming to have seen Jesus Christ as a blonde hair, blue-eyed man that is somewhere in a suit doing up YT colonizer in cosplay. All right, we've really got to wake up. We've really got, for the sake of our future generations. If this generation has kids, do you know what I mean? They collapse human possibility because they put you in a self-sealing system and they colonize your mind and imprison you psychologically. And when you leave, time does not need to be recovered, it resumes. So think of it as, oh my God, this song is just so deep. I just can't even listen to it. There's so much layer of depth in that song, Chair. There's a grief theory where it says that you're in this bubble of grief, but as you start to move out of that bubble of grief, you start to form experiences outside of that bubble. And so you create new bubbles. And that's why the collective experience and these lives are so important. I may not know you personally. I may have never met you before in my life, but you know me. You know other survivors' comments on here. And that is validating and that is powerful and that is taking back our power. Okay. So ooh, somebody got a warm welcome. Thank you, Haynes. I love the mods, you know, like they come on and they must be like, raw, they're quick. You lot, you're putting them to shame, man. You know, the RADICAL bots. And I don't even ask people, they just do, like, we're just so, the energy, the energy. It's just like it's a don't play with us because we've been free. They don't understand, yeah, from the aunties in the collective because I'm part of the auntie batch because I'm gonna be nearly 40, so that's like the 40s plus. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't ramp. We're not. Do you get it? Like, no, babe. Like the things we've been through in life, especially with the man them. Yeah, Haynes, where you at? Wait, are the mods? Yeah. And giving them a warm welcome. All right. So that is not a weakness. This is physics, psychology, and human resilience working together, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do now... All right, guys, I just want to do this as a quick tribute to my granddad because I love him so much. He's passed now. He's passed on. And, you know, I always thought to myself, because he's my step granddad, I thought to myself, why? I'm just like this girl from Grove, like, and I've got some random, like, professor, reverend, you know, like step granddad that's got an OBE and met the Queen, and he was so posh, like he spoke like this. So there's that part of me that kind of goes into this because, you know, I was exposed, you know, to that upper class, you know, dimension. Do you get what I'm saying? So when, like, that's like when I see Spack and that trying to do certain car, I just think, ooh, do you know what I mean? Cringe. Anyway, I'm just going to read this quick tribute and then go into the metaphysics. I'm not going to do... Actually, do you know what, guys? When you get in the book, you'll do it. But I just want to big him up, man, because... All right, I'm going to say this. My granddad always said, question, don't fear the unknown. This is a quote from one of his many books. So that's what I'm doing here, not trying to make everything conform to a tidy theory, but using physics, metaphysics, intuition, and experience to say you were not timeless. Your life was stolen, piece by unjust piece. And now we're just trying to figure out how to reclaim it. And guys, this is all you see, like my book, I decided today, like, I'm not going to put pressure on myself to make it perfect, to make it a really clean, edited kind of thing. It's just going to be like however the book is by the 20th of March, that's how it's going out. Do you know what I mean? Because that date is so significant. It's a survivor's birthday and I want to dedicate the book to her. You know, the book is going to be more like a scrapbook almost. I don't really think some people read from front to back, and if they do, there'll still be a coherency to do that. But most people will just go to the parts that they need when they need it. Oh, thanks, Louise. Um, so it's coming out in March 2026, and I'm really, really excited, man, for you lot to read that. I don't even want to get emotional and cry. It's just because, like, it's just been such a journey. Like, the whole reason why I even started writing the book was because like a survivor was saying, like, you should write a book, you should write a book, and then it just kept coming up, and I was like, okay, if this is what survivors want, then I'm going to try and, like, meet the need. And it's just like, it's really beautiful, I think, like what we've managed to, like, form and create. And guys, we've been, like, riding it out for a hot minute now. It's gone fast, but it's like, like 2 years, because it's coming to the end of the year. Like, I'm reflecting, and, like, there's some people who have, like, really ridden it out with me from the beginning, just, like, stuck with me through it all. And even when people were, like, unsure with my delivery or my approach, like, they could see my heart. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. I said you're so strong and needed. You're leading so many to heal and speak their truth. Oh, I appreciate you, babe. Miss Rose. Yeah, I'm just crying. They're not sad tears. It's just, like, overwhelmed, because for a lot of us, I think we've been, like, really used and abused in dynamics of relationships, and, like, discarded and given, like, so much to people, and not really, like, received that same thing back. And I just think we've formed, like, something really special here, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it, because I just don't know where I would have been. Because I was in there for such a long time. And people are so EVIL, man, whether they're inside or outside. They're just a bit better outside, you know what I mean? Because they haven't got a malignant narcissist controlling them. But if you get a pick me 304, do you know what I mean, that would sleep with your man, thank you, Miss El Rose, then you're done. You made it out and thrive, and Leah on that. Oh, thanks, babe. Do you know what, babe, man? I'm just trying, chill. Because they tried to destroy me, man. That could have really taken me out. That could have really taken me out. And then I just met this guy, because I was so vulnerable. And it was just so much trauma. Do you know what I mean? Just trauma after trauma. Because when you're vulnerable and you don't know yourself, you're just like a lamb amongst a pack of wolves. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what type of guy you get involved with. If you carrying all of that trauma in the relationship, he's gonna take advantage. That's why I suggest for men and females, when they come out, to just take a period. It doesn't even have to be celibacy, but just for yourself. Because if you're needy, do you know what I mean? Like, you're just going to keep going around the same cycle, but in different ways. So, yeah. All right. Guys, I thought I had a bit more here. I do. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I think it's on the other bit. Okay. Okay. Here, my dears. He's so big and tall. Like he dug the ball. You see when I first heard this tune, yeah, when Cardi brought out this tune, because I just did my divorce, I was busting up. You see that bit? I rewound it so many times. I was like, yeah, Cardi's on demon time. Someone had to speak out, and I'm glad you did. Oh, thank you, Martha G. People are talking, oh, people are here. Do you know that this is Yandy? People are bringing out Yandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I salute you. Thank you very much, very much. Guys, you got me up now. Guys, I swear down, man. I've been reflecting on everything. That's why I said with the content, I got to just take a pause because I don't know who Toby is saying that he would invite me to cook. Is he all right? Enemies. Oh my God. Is he all right? He's inviting war. Yeah, cherry pie. Because I saw that, because because what it is, yeah, like bouncer doesn't miss a beat in it. So when Bouncer put something out, I'm seeing it because I don't have time to catch everything. So now like he's on it as well, and I'm picking up things through him. And then there's someone else. There's just someone that comes on the account chair that comes on our live that's just been exposing them on some burner account chair. I love the way the SPAC survivors move. You lot move like the mafia. Oh my God, you know what's so funny? Like, when you're in there and then like you come out and then like you take your power back and then you become like, and it's so funny. You know how like the survivors have all taken their power back? Oh my God, they must, do you know what? These corrupt mobs must just be sitting there thinking, oh my God, am I going to be next? And if you're a side chick, like ABUSC your power, like get your money, babe. Say I'm going to go to Leah. Because they've got it. They've got the cash, babe. They're making loads of money in there. Don't let him ABUSE you, man. All right, guys. So I'm going to give you a little something before I go, yeah? Guys, please go and check out the live that we did earlier. It was so good. There's a PhD queen that comes on and she just broke down so much the Madonna Hall complex. Like she went into language. Oh my God. Guys, it was like a lecture. Guys, at a point, I was just sitting there chilling, like taking in all of the knowledge. But then I had to get my kids ready to go out with their dad. So I had to come off. So I'm back on. And we might get her back on tonight, but I've come on a lot later. So she's booked and busy. She's probably out. She's such a queen, chair. All right. So cults. How cults like SPAC Nation, RPF, Caris, First Love, MSCI, PSCI, Potter's House, UCKG, NGRM, Proton, I could go on and on and on. How they condition, recruit, and still the South. This is a survivor-centered psychological and sociological breakdown. So the cult is not just a group, it's a system. Cults are not defined by beliefs alone. They are defined by how power moves. And that's why I don't want it to be a BLK problem. Yes, we do need to acknowledge and accept that perhaps if it was some whitey middle class, and I've said that before, in the suburbs, there would be more guys. We know that. Come on, we know that. That's old news. We don't need to focus on that. We need to focus on the systems because it's a high religious, it's a high control group issue. It's not a BLK because we're a minority, babe. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm sure if we looked at us being a minority and how many church cults are planted, the church cults planted would outweigh the amount of us that are here. So then we would say that there is a disproportionate amount of church cults, and that is why we have an epidemic. Ooh, we have to watch, make sure Rachel Rain's not going to come and teeth that idea. Remember, you heard and saw it here first, baby. Cult leader Climate thinks Jesus was 10 different races. He's so sick. Where did he get that from? Oh yeah, Caris is way up there. What you mean? You know, Caris is my sister church cult. So my spiritual, my prophet daddy is David Antry's daddy, Dag Mills, and my spiritual daddy Richard Aye. He started First Love in the UK. Them two are bottom bees. Why do grown adults not just leave SPAC Nation? Are they stuck? Yeah, do you know what it is, Martha? You know what? The grown adults at this point, they're just in there for themselves, share. Or it could be community. Because what I think SPAC need to do up is just the members that they've got now, just keep it within there and just try and do their businesses. Because as soon as they start coming out and trying to recruit people and talk about people and promote it, the whole of the UK is just going to shut them down. Because we're just, if the police aren't going to do anything about it, social services, or they can't prove, because it's all about evidence. But we're just going to deal with them how we deal with them in the streets and on the roads and in the ends and from the blocks. Do you know what I mean? Because they're dealing with the gal them in there, like they're from the hood and from the blocks, putting hands on gal them, fracturing skulls, blacking up eyes, hospitalizing gal, nearly unaliving gal. So we're just gonna do it how we do it up. Because we ain't got time for that. Do you know what I mean? Are you all right? The Jemimas and I hope that your Jemimas from Finchley are going to be able to save you. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you all right? Why is a big grown man? Oh, do you know what, guys? Because I really do want to keep this live, I'm not going to say what I think about Sam, but I will do a video saying exactly what I think about Sam. Exactly. And if any gal them are letting Sam tap it, I pity you! I pity you! I'm so cheesy and bougie. Do you know what I mean? Because like, even when they got shmoney, you still gotta have standards, girl. Do you know what I mean? You still gotta have. I'm just so surprised that a JA gal, you know what I mean? A JA gal just got like, it's just with that. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just like, why, girl? Why'd you do that? Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not with my ex-husband, but nobody can't chat on him. They want to get like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? This is a MESS chair. What's going on with Sam? Sam, why are you putting hands on little gal? What's going on, man? Bad man. Bad man, why are you putting hands on little gal? They love putting hands on people and there's no repercussions. If that was a gal in the church coat and she had 5 brothers from Peckham that were still on the road, do you think Sam would have controlled his hands? He would have controlled his hands. He would have controlled his hands. They know the ones to put hands on and the ones not to put hands on. Do you know what I'm saying? Bev, can you see Abraham? Who's having a religious psychotic manifestation right now. Okay. Thank you, baby girl. So the cult is not just a group, it's a system. We don't blood clot play in a life, in her, or anywhere. We keep things pretty and cute and nice. You see it there? We don't want nobody coming in here interrupting what we have going on. So please go and take your dappy bad mind spirit elsewhere. Cults are not defined by beliefs alone. They're defined by how power moves. A cult is a closed psychological economy. And that's why the finances are closed. I was on a live the other day and they said, what's the biggest religion? Everyone was saying different Abrahamic religions. He said, no, money. And that's why you see like all them celebs around Toby and da-da-da-da. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's their religion, is money. They're all in there wearing the brand. They've got their bags that cost grands, this, that, and the third. So that's why they'll still do business with these type of man them, because it's like the money speaks. That's their currency in their world. Yeah. And that's why I believe Christ said that man cannot serve like mammon and what was it? Was it mammon and what was it? Mammon and oh, how can I forget this? But you don't know what I'm talking about. It's not talking about the money that you've got. It's like we can cross-reference it with where your heart is, your treasure will be there also. So if you've got a lot of money, you'll be helping people. You won't be spending £200,000 on bottles when there's people having to go to food banks to literally feed their kids. That's like, you could buy a house somewhere outside of London for 250 grand. Like, what the hell? It's not giving Christ. It's just not, guys. And what you've got to realize, guys, is no one's here to save the people inside there, guys, because unfortunately there's been enough people speaking out and enough accounts and enough information out there for the people that are in there. They know it's corrupt. They know what's going on. The girl whose hands got put on, they could see the picture and they will know if that is a member that had been going there. So whether they've got the proof, that's why Jemima, these gal them, Jemima, what's that one? Jess RV, what's this one? Nia, these gal them are pick-me's. Dangerous type of gal them, man. Even when they know that a girl's been black and blue. I'm different, that won't happen to me. She was this and that. Yeah. Them gal there, those who don't hear must feel. You get me? Them gal there will feel, child. Life's gonna teach them. Trust me. Life will teach. The pick-me's always learn the hard way, child. And that's why they thrive in religious environments. Power flows one way, upward. Cost flows one way, downward. Time, money, body, labor, silence. Meaning is centralized, not discovered. So if leaving costs you your identity, relationship, or safety, you're not in a community, you're in a system, and a closed one. Because there should be individuality and autonomy. And that's why, no matter the cult, if we look at SPAC, they're all dressed like Toby. They all wear this designer, like about drip. Then they wear suits. The gal, them, they just look at MESS. I don't know what to call it. Like Mariam. Minano! Then when you look at Caris, you got them all trying to look like Antri, looking like a 50-year-old hip auntie, wannabe UK fashionista. Minano. Then David, you got them all with shaven hair. No one can have long hair, locks, different braids. It's low cut hair and it's suits. In First Love, they're just the MESS. They try to do this humble broke type of look. Clean, kind of like, what's it called? Formal, smart cash. And it's just the MESS in my cult, but it's just plain Jane. That's all it's given. So if you look at the different church cults, you will see that they've got this crazy cloning like type of vibe going in. Yeah, because Louise, you know, I know that's right. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, man. You can see it, and that's why I'm using SPAC, because the spotlight's on SPAC at the moment. So I'm going to use SPAC to cross-reference the other cults. And the reason why they HATE2C me coming is because the way I'm breaking it down and highlighting, it's exposing the other church cults as well, because they're not so different, are they? They're the same as First Love Cap, because the pastors are all thieves. Except Toby is loud with it. Charisma is misunderstood, and this is why people miss it. Toby is your like textbook staple example of what a charismatic cult leader is like. SLOPPY, MESSY, just over the top, just laugh, just talks, just says whatever comes to the head, just says it. But there are more like introverted, charismatic leaders, like my cult leader. So when you're around it, he's not smiley. He doesn't want to do interviews. He's not going to bust jokes with you. He's not going to do what, he's just not like, he describes his personality temperament as a melancholic choleric. And those are the hard head teachers. Yes, so it's just the MESS. What I say, charisma is standing up in front of hundreds of thousands of people and healing them. Yeah. So you got to look beyond the surface. So charisma isn't always charm, warmth, or likability. Cult charisma can look like confidence without accountability. Like what Toby's doing up. Do you know what I mean? He's saying the reason the community is against him is because we're all broke. The same community that you're trying to recruit. Make it make sense, babe. Certainty without 5 minutes ago, he was the leader. He was the leader of the UK. He was the BLK, community leader. And now he's saying that the community, the same community that he said he was a leader of, is broke. So it's like, make it make sense, baby boy. Like, do you know what I mean? We're not getting it. There's a lot of inconsistency. So certainty without curiosity, volume, repetition, and stage dominance. Spiritual authority replacing emotional attunement. Oh, cool. Psychology. Humans confuse confidence with competence. Typical example, the US president. The brain seeks certainty under stress. Trauma plus chaos makes people vulnerable to anyone who sounds sure. So it takes charisma to stand in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people and speak interrupted, even if the person is ABUSE. So recruitment targets states, not types. Cults don't recruit STUPID people. They recruit people in transition. High risk moments. So let's look at the high risk factors that make you highly susceptible to being recruited by a cult: grief, loss, breakups, bereavement, poverty, housing insecurity, migration. I'm also going to say loss of job, unemployment, identity crisis, spiritual hunger, escaping ABUSE or dysfunction. I'm also going to say childhood trauma. I'm also going to say coming from the hood. I'm also going to say GANGS. I'm also going to say if you come from an organized criminal family. There's so many layers. What I'm going to group this into is ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And I will welcome people to go and look into ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, after this live, because it's going to help you to understand your trauma. And I will be this will be in my book coming out March 2026. So this is a little thought. No, the psychology behind this: the trauma collapses the nervous system. The brain seeks safety, meaning, and structure. Cults offer instant belonging and answers. Okay. So you need to be thinking, they didn't save me. They intercepted me. They intercepted your path. Love bombing is not kindness, it's attachment hijacking. And these are all characteristics that I'm giving you, but with a twist. Yeah, so that this is based off survivor accounts and my 18 years of lived experience. Let's go. Love bombing isn't affection. It's accelerated bonding without safety. So this is when people try to enmesh themselves into your life, try and be like your kid's auntie, try and act like they've known you for 10 years, try and get that that closeness to you without building the relationships and respecting your boundaries and etc. So signs of this: intense praise early on, you're chosen, you're different, you're special, artificial intimacy, pressure to commit fast. The neuroscience behind this: dopamine plus oxytocin, and that's a spike of oxytocin. Then we've got rational brain goes offline, trauma bonds form quickly. And as well, they do a lot of things like giving them gifts, like buying them, like transactional love. Thanks for the follow. Transactional love, because they can do up, like try and like I'm gonna say this in the most non-controversial way I can say it. Uncles operate in this way. Their love is very transactional. They don't say sorry. When they do something wrong, they will buy you something. That's how they work. Okay. And Niger men like to trap you with money and like things. And that's why the danger with these type of guys is that they introduce you to a life that is, it's hard for certain people to maintain, and you become kind of addicted to that dynamic of the relationship, and they GROOM you to be transactional as well. So the girls are just 304s in there. They're spiritual 304s. There's 304 in themselves out for Toby Cheer. That's why y'all can't chat to me. If love is given before you're known, it can be withdrawn to control you. So that push and pull effect, like, silencing, putting people outside of the group, all of that, that's where the ABUSE comes into it. And because these gal them are such pick-me's to get D, to be married, to just everything, it's just the MESS in there. I just can't imagine how toxic and low vibrational it is. So they're going to have like OF girls being in there, girls with low self-esteem, girls who are just, in very traumatic crisis states. Do you get it? And then any other girls that are somewhat, I don't want to say normal, because you can have a good job. There's therapists that are MAD. You can be rich and have a lot of money and be MAD and be, do you know what I mean? Have a lot of issues and trauma. So they are recruiting like people in through relationship dynamics. It's just the MESS, man. Guys, I would stay away from this culture. Do you know what? Cardi just did it again. I love it. Like, she just came out of her retirement and she's like, here I am. All right. Testimony culture, trauma as currency. So word on the street is that allegedly Jemima's from Finchley, but she's been acting like she's from the slums of North London and acting like she was on these streets dealing and acting, and then she's also said that she had a terminate. It's just the MESS. But someone's come forward to say it's all lies. She was never addicted to leave. She was never a bad gal. She just used to be like a pick me, just around the man them, and used to take pictures with their cash and the the thing in her mouth and stuff like that. So it's just all acting again. So cults turn pain into proof. Stories are exaggerated, curated, or fabricated, like alleged Jemima. Suffering becomes a requirement. Like, where's your stripes? Because I left a cult almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, and I can still go to my boyfriend's grave and take. That's enough, B. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to have pictures with the man them on the street. My boyfriend was unalive by the police. You can Google it up. Like what? Like what are you telling me? Like a video with a little something in your mouth and holding some cash. That's not evidence, baby girl. Like that's what I said to you. It's not like when you're like from the hood or you've experienced a certain type of life. It's not. Do you know someone who's unalived? And we're not talking about your dad who unalived from cancer. We're talking about people that were unalived through the streets and the struggle and the roads. All right, my love. So it's not do you know someone that unalived? It's how many people do you know that's unalived? Thanks for the follow. It's how many people do you know that's unalived, baby girl? Because if you're from a certain life, that's just the part of it, babe. That's why you're desensitized, yeah. You're just hearing, oh, so-and-so got balled up the other day. Oh, so-and-so's son unalive. Oh, this happened, that happened. Oh, R.I.P. this one. You're going to at least know, there's a good couple people you're going to know that's unalive in the hood. Do you know what I mean? So what? Even if she's 24, because by the time I was 19, I knew bare man them that had been unalive. Are you all right? Definitely over 8. So what are you telling me? Like, make it make sense. Like they're using real life trauma, like things that we've actually struggled and gone through, because to please this fake gangster in cosplay. I can't. Do you know what? It just really triggers me. Let me just stay to the point here. This is why I can't expose Batman. It really triggers me, man. It affects me so much, like more than any of the cults, because you lot have no idea, man. Suffering becomes a recruitment for legitimacy. Trauma is mined, repackaged, and monetized. Identity becomes who I was versus who they made me. So this is the sociological perspective. Testimonies function as marketing. They normalize extreme sacrifice. They silent dissent. Look how far God has brought me. And then the spiritual bypass. So the survivor awakening is, my pain wasn't healed, it was weaponized. I'm going to go to a few comments because there's some on Insta and YouTube. Okay, hey Bex, this is what I'm saying. Pictures aren't enough. Where's your story? Exactly. Because I can just go and get my medical history printed off. You know them ones, Bex. You know them ones. I could just, yeah, Esther saying got a bankrupt SPAC nation in 2026. Speak the word, Esther. Pin it. This can be one of our what do they call it? You know, when we declare what our topic is for the year. Got a bankrupt SPAC nation in 2026. Thank you, Nancy. It's true. Like, where's your story? Like, because Bex, gal them like you and me, we could just go and get the medical report from the GP. You know them ones. Just the medical GP, just the medical reports alone. Yeah, you don't even need any pictures. So what are you telling me, babes? Hey, Marve. They strike the pose, but their lifestyle isn't really giving. No, it's not. They just look at MESS, babe. It's giving BLK poverty mindset. Once they start enabling on your freedoms, teamwork is in denial, for example. Yeah, the cognitive dissonance. They appear loving, but not really respecting, laughing in your face, but still wanting to be around you or in your presence. Yeah. And that's the disrespect in it and the lack of boundaries. Beck says, from when I was in care, they have your whole life basically on file. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, babes. Because if you've really been through the struggle, you would have been through some sort of system, whether that be hostel, assisted living accommodation, mother and baby unit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like children's home. Do you get it? Like satin chair. Like, what are you telling me? Do you get what I'm saying? So she just decided to leave mommy and daddy's house. Apparently, that's what the gal's saying. Why would you do that? How come they're getting evicted if they're so rich? They're getting evicted. But babe, they ain't got no real money. Money man don't move like that. They ain't got no real money, man. Listen, look at Macedo, the billionaire pastor. They're so rich, they don't need all that stuff. Like my cult leader Dag, like allegedly, it's in the 100 millions, and he just went. You would never think that that man had all that money. Thanks for the follow, babe. I told you, one of the guys who did the most for me, he had the most money. Like, I'm talking about cash available. Like, and he was just paying for my lifestyle. He just drove a little Ford. I was happy to sit in that Ford though. You were right. There was a reason though. He had two cars. I'm not gonna lie. And I did see the other car. But I felt happy. I was fine. I was fine in the Ford. Do you know what I mean? Because I got whatever I want. I got the champagne. I got the Laurent Perrier when I went out. I was saying no to him. Like, oh no, calm down. Because I'm thinking, bitch, like I want my allowance by the end of the week. Like, calm down. We gonna drink this champagne and that gonna be it. I left my mum's house on my accord. I had enough. I feel you, girl. And it's like having to be like an adult before your time, minute, and you just end up in the streets, and it is what it is. And if she is really from the streets, just do it. She should just do a simple little video, just clarifying it, because at the end of the day, it is alleged, and I'm hoping that it isn't true. So Jemima could just do a quick video talking about her past, like where she was from, like her whole journey, so we can understand it. We don't just want to hear, I never knew I was North London until I came out of North London. What does that mean? What does that mean? What the hell? It don't mean a damn thing. The fact you are still weak means you are struggling an attack. Oh yeah, she said man cannot serve mammon and God. Thank you, babe. Oh, Miss El Rose said she loves the song. And I checked out that artist. She's beautiful. She's on my playlist. I listened to the whole album, my love. I'm sure moving to different locations, even temporarily, are a remedy for many. Yeah, that's why I had to move out of my last house, because it was just too many memories and it carries that energy. All right. So the us versus them trap, the persecution complex. Cults frame criticism as proof of righteousness. Common phrases they attach Jesus to: "You're being persecuted. The world won't understand us." That's the classic. The world won't understand us, and the world hated Jesus, so they hate us. This is spiritual warfare. All right, babe. Survivors speaking out about their trauma is spiritual warfare. Do you know how crazy that is? That they translate survivors talking about their trauma and exposing like exposing them about their real experiences. They see it as spiritual warfare. So the psychology, this creates paranoia, cuts off external reality testing, bonds members through shared fear. Critical thinking check, y'all. Healthy movements welcome scrutiny. Only abusive systems fair questions. And I'm not talking about questions that are bounded by free choice, like what they want you to answer, that you know they're going to want you to answer. Why can't you ask them about things to do with the exposure? You know that there's a glass ceiling, like, of questions you can ask, and autonomy in there. There is no autonomy. Fear replaces faith. Over time, love is replaced with fear conditioning. Fear of leaving, being cursed, losing community, God's punishment, being exposed or shamed. The neuroscience behind it all. The amygdala stays activated. One sec, I got to do this thing on TikTok. Yeah. You should do jokey. All right. Learned helplessness develops. People comply to reduce anxiety. So hold on to this truth. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If your spirituality requires fear to function, it's not faith, it's control. It's about trying to get your energy level up, your chi, with self confidence, self compassion, and relaxation, for example, yeah, and rest. all of that. So Marve is talking about the mind, body, and soul, and neurosystem regulation. And guys, a big part of healing is just rest. Okay. And because in these cults, there's so much doing and pressure, and you've got to work for the Lord. Like you do something for the Lord, work for the Lord, work for the Lord. Thank you, EB Fitness, work for the Lord, work for the Lord. So you feel when you're resting, you're like a bum, you're, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like all psychological. So get your backside in your bed and rest, share. That's why I said if I'm in my bed for the rest of my life, I'm happy with that, because my organs are like an elderly person because they rinsed me out that much, share. So I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna be in my bed proudly. I'm proud to be in my best. I'm proud that I listen to my body and I rest. It helps for me a daily practice and reading to acquire some knowledge. Oh, that's lovely. And if you can't read, listen to frequencies, music, intellectual TikToks. Do you get it? Like podcasts, like things that you can hear. Oh, it's getting hot in here, chair, because I put on the heating. Killing you hoes. I'm killing you hoes. All right. Gradual boundary erosion, the boiling frog effect. Nothing abusive happens all at once. Time demands increase slowly. Money requests escalate. Rest is framed as laziness. Boundaries are reframed as pride. The psychology. Incremental compliance. Cognitive dissonance. I've already given so much. Identity fuses with the group. So it's a fusion, an identity fusion. That's why everybody, can you see all the girls look the same? Hair back, same aesthetic, just look like clones, just look like washed up SPAC 304s. They've all got a certain aesthetic. So this is a survivor moment to reflect on. I didn't notice the cage being built because it was being built around me. And also it was seen as, in the guise of God's house, liberation, spiritual protection, spiritual covering, community. We're building this together. Patriotism, camaraderie, there's all of that. You feel like when you're in these cults, you feel like you're taking over the world. You feel like it's your mission. You feel like you finally found your purpose. That's how it feels. Yeah. And for the pick me, it's just an opportunity to be just that. Pick me. They're all like they're pick me, Toby, pick me. It's just like you gotta hit lower than rock bottom. Do you understand what I'm saying? You gotta hit lower than rock bottom to be in this situation. Or just a wolf. That's all. Like cutthroat, lethal, willing to do whatever it takes to step on whoever's neck, to turn a blind eye to women getting almost battered to unalivement, turning a blind eye to women getting essayed in trap houses, turning a blind eye to women getting eaten out of the grape bar, turning a blind eye to your pastors clearly being inappropriate with all these women, just turning a blind eye. Silence is compliance. You're as good as the Pred and the ABUSE are doing it, being silent and being compliant and complicit in this cult. And may God judge you accordingly. The times where you've closed your eyes, may God close the doors, all the entry points. May every door be closed for SPAC in 2026. Every door be closed, as they've closed their eyes to all the ABUSE. And I just want there to be a stop in cash flow, whether that be like through direction of the government, whatever, through people, whatever, or I just want them to have 9 years of bad luck, financial bad luck and collapse. They can wish what they want on me because I ain't got shit. Get in line, baby. Carpe diem. Do you get me? Life's too short. I know, that's right. Can mods be vigilant? They are joining. Oh, who's joining? Hey, speckers. Y'all, you lot are young, man. Bag of kids in there. I'm probably older than their mother. Some of them, but some of them have old mums. That's why they're in there as well, because their mums couldn't mother them. It's too much. The generational gap's too big. All right. So leaders are never accountable, only covered. Cult leaders avoid transparency, use spiritual language to dodge responsibility. blame followers for harm done to them. Can the mods let me know if they're here and active? I'm hot. Power without accountability equals ABUSE. Spiritual covering replaces safeguarding. Hierarchy protects itself. Guys, I'm gonna get ready to start winding down. I'm feeling that in my intuition. I might be on later. If I'm not, I don't know when I'll be back on, guys. Because I don't know what tomorrow is gonna look like. We'll see. And guys, this is just to reflect on. If leaders can harm you without consequence, you're not safe. So that's why with Sam and Terry putting hands on this gal, and that Terry allegedly there's 14 and 15-year-old girls that he's been, doing up, what with. So it's just not safe in there. All right. Exit punishment, the final control mechanism. Leaving is treated as betrayal, disloyal. Tactics, smear campaigns, shunning, character assassination. They were never real believers. That's why that pastor that unalived himself the other day, Macedo, was running around in these streets saying that he was never a real Christian in the first place. Oh my God, these cult leaders ain't got no blood clot heart, chair. So the psychology behind this is that it prevents others from leaving, reinforces fair narratives, rewrite history. And the reframe is, if you were loved conditionally, the love was never real. Yeah. And if you're dealing with a guy who's GROOMing you to be some sort of schmegs worker by making the relationship transactional, he ain't got no respect for you. He just sees you as a piece of meat, yeah? And most likely got a woman or a wife or someone that he's planning to marry. That's why he's making the conditions of the relationship very clear from the jump. Why smart, educated people stay? Because cults don't trap intelligence, they trap attachment. Trauma bonds override logic. Identity becomes fused with mission. Leaving feels like unalivement of self. Shame keeps people silent. And that's why I say silence is compliance. For me, that phrase is really powerful, because that's what they do. They silence us. They try to instill fear so that we can't speak their truth. But me not care. Me no blood clot here. Me must speak my truth. Nobody can't tell me not a thing. I'm gonna speak my truth. Me not care. Me no blood clot here. I'm gonna be sitting here every day, all day, speaking my truth. Me not care. Because I see a lot of people having to get BLK. Bev, are you a mod? Who else is on here? Can someone be a mod for me? Ella, can you be a mod? Who's on here that can be a mod? Staying does not mean consent. It means conditioning. All right. The reason why people stay is because they've been conditioned, guys. They can't imagine life outside. It's not consent. A lot of them, there's just that fear to leave as well. And then we've got the real definition of a cult. This is a real definition of a cult for survivors. All right, Haynes, I just want to check because Nance is, there's quite a lot of them. All right, and Marve's given some practical tips. She said she was so exhausted. Oh, Miss Rose said she was so exhausted, had to drop out of uni. But do you know what, girl? It's better to do that and take a pause and focus on healing and self. It's a PS take, because you had to stop because of the trauma. But let's look at it from a glass half full and not empty, and say you recognize that for self and for the body and for your healing journey, you're going to take that time out and then you're going to come back to it. That's wisdom, and that's self-care and self-love. And it's those little things that you have to celebrate, because we can't let them take our power. We can't let them live in the trauma. Do you know what I mean, babe? Oh, she said I dropped a gem. Thank you, baby girl. That's what it is, because they've got us in that negative fear-based programming where we see everything as negative, because everything's the DEVIL. So that's going to take time. That's why when something happens, you have to always see the positive and the silver lining in it. You always have to, guys. That's the way that you're going to you're reprogramming, you're rewiring the brain to not always see everything Like, you know, like in a negative light. What's 419 Nation? Oh yeah. Yeah, Scam Nation. Do you remember when TK called it Scam Nation? Oh. All right. So this is a definition for cult survivors. Hey, pretty girl. A cult is any system that requires you to abandon your inner authority, punishes you for leaving, uses fear, shame, or God to control behavior. Benefits a few. So the top heavy is very top heavy. Hey, at the expense of many. So you will notice in that pyramid scheme, it will be very top heavy. Like a lot of, like, you'll even be thinking when you're in there, like, damn, like, where's the money going? And when you leave a cult, the first thing you think is, oh my days, all of that money that I gave. And that's why I felt like an idiot. And I went straight into, okay. And I was earning good money. I was in a good job. I was a program manager for Sadiq Khan's office, but it wasn't enough, chair. Because by that time I'd clocked, oh my God, I'm like in my 30s. I was supposed to be a lot far further in life. Do you know what I mean? Now I wanted this lifestyle and I wanted these things and I couldn't have them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my mind was like, oh, I'm pretty. Like, like these guys are just throwing the money at me. I was like, yeah, what's going on here? There's a whole thing where the man them just be giving you money because you're pretty. Do you know what I mean? It had advanced a lot. Because, you know, I was used to dealing with the road man them. It's like when I got invited, when I started seeing like the fraud guys and, you know, I got like, you know, because I was married for almost 10 years, but in my mind, I was like, because I was indoctrinated by the Nigerian culture, I had in my mind, if I'm going to have more kids, because I wanted more kids back then, I'd have to get with a Nigerian man because I wanted to like keep the consistency in the culture. Because you know how it is, the Nigers, they really do go in, my kids get spoiled, everything's OTT. So I didn't want there to be like a difference, do you know what I mean? Because the culture is very strong. So that's why I was doing that art. But guys, why was I talking about this? What was the point I was getting onto? Have I disassociated? I haven't it. Oh, the money. Yeah, that's the point I was getting to. So that will really like haunt you. So let's look at what the definition is. They use fear, shame, or God to control behavior. It benefits a few at the expense of many, and it steals your time, your body, your voice, or your future. So you will feel like that's what the real possession is. When they're controlling your whole life, you have to ask them permission who to marry, where to go, who to date. So possession is not like the exorcism where they come and take over your body. The possession is the control that they have over your life, especially the way they become an omnipresent avatar where you are so controlled by the laws and governance that even outside of the actual four walls, the physical dimensions of the building, you still believe that something bad's going to happen to you when the person's not there. And that's what control is all about. Yeah, that's what the fair based programming sets out to do. I decided to take a break because I felt so empty and lost. My family was mad at me. Girl, I was referring to that line you said, because cults don't trap intelligence, they trap attachment. Ooh. Yeah, when you said it again, it's really deep, babe. Thank you, Miss Elrose, for saying it back to me. Let's just meditate on that, guys. Cults don't trap intelligence, they trap attachment. That is the that one trauma bonding is real. Girl, the trauma bonding nearly mad up my head with a guy that I got this rich uncle that I gave a chance. Mad up my head. Some mad trauma bond he tried to put me in, man, with transactional love. And because I'm still getting over it, that's why I haven't really spoken about it. But and pray on our attachment styles. Yeah. And you know what? They're no different from the pred uncles that are in the bars and the shisha clubs and the lounges. That's Toby and Co. Scam Nation. That's what they do. That's what they do. They're no different. That's why I think I had to have that experience coming out, because I was so innocent. You know, like a virgin. Woo! That's what it was like when I came out. Nowhere ever like, I might get in my back blown out in my marriage. Do you get it? And I was all holier than thou. Like, God, it was bad. It was real bad. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I've been through a lot, man. So, survivor reclamation. Your doubt was intelligence returning. So if you're like an atheist or you're agnostic or you're not sure, you don't know what the hell you are, then look at it like this. Your doubt was intelligence returning. Your anger is your boundary waking up. Your grief is real and valid. And you didn't fell the cult. The cult felled you. Marve, you're the crazy one to want to prove you love the father. Do you mean like the daddy, the cult leader? Yeah, there's a lot of that in it. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. Idolization and worship. And also going up, Marve also said it's called sadhana. It could be chanting also. It's about a daily enjoyable action. Oh, okay. Some people might be triggered because they do a lot of chanting in the church cults, but if you haven't been exposed to that, that may help. And mantras really help me. And then she said morning and evening prayers and daily walks. Yes. Oh, and someone said it's performance driven. Yes, it's performative Christianity. Like, Breeny Lee is funny, man. Oh my God. Breeny Lee takes performative Christianity to another level. Seriously, like, guys, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm you know what? I'm gonna go and have something to eat, and then I might come back. I might not, guys. It all depends on how I feel, because I'm just recovering and my hair's frizzing out. Guys, I haven't even taken out. So I've taken out like a bit of my hair. Okay. They didn't take your faith, they exposed their fear of you having freedom. And then what I'm going to go through the next time I come on here is we're going to look at phase 2, not KP like Karis phase 2. Lol. This is just like phase 2, like for what I'm talking about her. So think of it as phase 2 after the spell breaks, after the spell is broken, after the mirror is shattered, after it breaks, the spell breaks. Hey, Leo Ruth. So we're going to go into what happens after you realize a cult. Realize it's a cult. So we're going to look at the moment of the cognitive dissonance. So that's the mirror cracking, the false image and facade that you've created. Well, they've created that pseudo personality. And this is all in my book, guys. It's coming out in March 2026. So do you see what I'm talking about? Like, do you see that what I'm talking about now is like gone to a different level? And guys, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, speaking things into existence is so powerful. It's a law of the universe, and you can find it across every religion, every thought, belief. Like, you can find it in science. You can find it's definitely, that's why you have to get out of this low vibration of fear, chair. And one in D, and being a man pleaser. Oh, Barnett said don't ever change. Thanks, babe. Just stop chasing the D, man. Like, focus on manifesting stuff in your life, Jill. Do you know what I mean? Like, this gal them like D too much. You just get older and realize it's just. But I do appreciate that the young gal them want to get some D. They want to have some fun. That's what I always remember. And I think it's important to like have that humility and empathy. And look, I'm calling gal them that want to date empathy, not in a rude way, guys. I just mean it like because I've been there. I've been young. Do you know what I mean? And everybody needs their time. Do you get what I'm saying? To like enjoy the male species. And then we're going to discuss trauma bonding, why leaving feels impossible. So there's a girl who's been really vocal about trauma bonding. I don't even know if you're a girl. Yeah, it's a girl. Life of Natasha Chair. Yes, I'm going to go talk about that. Guys, I might come back. I do see myself coming back, but it just depends, man. Because sometimes, guys, I just get on the phone to survivors and I'm just on the phone all night. And then before you know it, we're talking about, and the SPAC. I've got to get back to SPAC survivors. There's SPAC survivors that have messaged me. I've got so much content to do, Chair. I think I'm just gonna start like putting the messages up but hiding the profiles, because SPAC survivors are saying I can share it. But I do like to do things when I talk and stuff. But I just think I'm just gonna start putting the evidence out there, because there's so much coming through at the moment. If I don't do it like that, it's gonna be really hard for me to do it, to be fair. She said, like, if you want to serve God, instead they make the job a job that's easy, they make it hard. For example, if you are a giver, they accuse you for taking. Oh, I see what you mean. And they kind of twist and manipulate things, and they do label people as well. And they're very like, there's a lot of accusation in these church cult spaces as well. People like Mercedes are heartless. Also Climate, who has no conscience. Yeah, none of them have any conscience, chair. And then we're going to look into the neuroscience of that, the grief no one talks about, leaving for even questioning. And we're going to look at complex grief. And then anger is a stage of healing, not failure. Because I think some people feel angry with themselves when they feel angry and they can't move on from the trauma and move past what happened in the cult. And then why survivors often re-enter or stay in contact, so do the church cult hopping, and why they actually go back to be abused more. Identity collapse and rebuilding the self. The shame trap and why it keeps people silent. Why cults fear survivors who speak. What healing actually looks like, not Instagram healing, like real healing. And I will give you a few now because some people might not come back. And what real healing looks like is messy. It will even feel like you're going off at times, because some of you might be like have some mad crazy disorganized like trauma bond attachment like stuff, so you might need to be around man to like have validation to stay sane. That could be like your DRUG, and then as a result of that you make yourself vulnerable and get ABUSCD'd. So part of the healing will be staying in your yard and keeping your backside quiet. Hey Rach! And crying yourself to sleep, crying on the pillows. It's better than going to a man's house who's going to treat you like a 304, going to make you feel like a piece of human fecal matter. And when he's done with you, he's going to kick you out of the yard. And then it's just the same cycle of you HATE in yourself. So healing looks like rest. It looks like anger. It looks like doing nothing. It looks like controlling yourself to keep your backside in your yard when you want to get that thing beat up. But you know that you're not in an emotionally, like you're just not in, you just don't have that. You're not emotionally strong or mentally equipped or have the mental capacity to even take on getting into a schmegschal relationship with someone. So that's about you, like the withdrawal symptoms of not going to like your safety net, which is getting your back blown out. And then seeing ABUSC as love. Yeah. And a lot of people who have been like abandoned by parents, orphans, like, you know, that type of trauma will usually be in dynamics, you know, with males who ABUSC them, or they'll be with men who wear masks. So usually they think they got the perfect life, and then 10-20 years later they find out the man's been cheating and got kids out. You know, you always get them mad stories because it just doesn't, the pick-me's are pick-me's, do you know what I mean, from the trauma. And you got to be like you got to know yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because then you're just going to attract trash. That's the truth. And then we've got withdrawal, confusion, boundaries, and loss of certainty. It doesn't look like instant forgiveness. So you see that Erica Kirk, that's why everybody knows that there's something wrong there, man. Because how can you forgive the people that just unalived your husband like that? Like I've been honest. I'm not forgiving them, and that's a choice. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like maybe that might change this, that, and the third. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? They did too much, chair. But isn't it better to get someone that's honest and you know where you stand with them? There's someone saying, "Oh, I forgive you, and then in your back. Like, come on. That's the danger of this. So it's not instant forgiveness. It's not spiritual bypassing like the Breenies and the Sashas and co. Like you lot were 304s and you did a lot. You did a lot before you started turning into Mother Teresa. You can't just spiritually bypass all of the stuff that you did and then just try and come and project onto everyone else and do up this modesty. She looks like an idiot. And then you've got all the pick-me's, all of the gal them that are 304 pick-me's, retired 304s that are coming in endorsing her. It's mad. And then she's coming in 1 minute, she's saying she's preaching and she's trying to save people and talk to people. And then the next minute she's saying that it's for us, it's modesty, it's this, it's that. I'm just like, make it make sense, baby. Is it the main purpose of Christianity to win the lost, to go out into the world and preach the gospel? As far as I'm concerned, that gal has more of an interest in building her brand and selling the Handmaid's Tale Saint Mode brand. You get me? That's all I see with her. Then we've got reclaiming spirituality or choosing none at all. I think that's the kids. Practical safety for survivors. And that's going to be looking at grounding and protection and what that looks like. And then Marve is saying often they will try and put people in a box. So regaining your authenticity. And then also she's saying purification songs. I think what you listen to is important, because it will either raise or lower the frequency and vibration of your environment. So guys, I'm gonna go. I love you so much, because I'm sure that's my kids outside. But I've got I don't want to say actually, but they will get in. They have a way. I love y'all. I'm going. I might be back later. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. She was known to the US president before hubby. Yeah, I know. He apparently he was part of her winning Miss America, isn't it? Yeah. All right, you lot. I'll be back soon. Bye. Because I'm sure that's the kids. Guys, I'm just gonna go. Yeah. Love y'all. Bye.